saya? You wake up on a Monday morning and suddenly you feel the motivation. You look in the mirror and in your mind, you're still 25. You remember the stamina, the flexibility, and remember the feeling of being indestructible. So what do? You decide today's the day you're going to change your life. You're going to wake up in the morning, you're going to train hard, and you're going to reclaim your pride. If you're over 40, stop right there, because that thought process brings you into the biggest trap you can fall into. Today, I'm going to break down the major pitfalls of jumping back into training later in life, why your brain is playing tricks on you, and how to build a routine without breaking your body in the process. Which brings me to mistake number 2. This is not the first time you're trying to get back into shape. So most of us over 40, we have a lot of past gym memberships. We have a lot of dusty running shoes. So every time we try to restart, we make the same mistake. We go 100% right out of the gate. We set the alarm, we buy the gear, we wake up early in the morning, we go for a 5K run, or when we hit the gym, we're gonna lift heavy iron right on day one. And we treat fitness like an on and off switch, because we assume that our bodies will have to cooperate. A year ago, I tried to pick up capoeira again. I remembered how good the movement felt and the reflexes and how it kept my body in good shape. So I figured I used to do this, so my body would just remember. Well, that illusion lasted about 2 months of training. Which brings me to mistake number 2. Assuming your body is still the same as you remember. Well, spoiler alert, it's not. Stepping into a pro MMA class like I used to back in the days, or just going to the gym and lifting heavy, just do a heavy workout like I was 25, you will notice real quick that reality will step in real fast. After my first capoeira lesson, everything hurt, and not a satisfying good workout pain either. This was a deep warning pain that tells me that an injury is right around the corner. And I knew if I would keep going like this, I was going to tear something. So this trap, it catches 2 types of dudes. Dude number 1, the former athlete, the guy who remembers being in great shape and tries to pick up where he left off like a decade ago. And then you have dude number 2. This is the late bloomer, the guy who maybe was not in good shape in his 20s, he was not that athletic, but now in his 40s, he has the money and the time, and he can finally invest in himself. So he gets excited and he buys all the equipment and he goes guns blazing. Okay, both of these guys make the same mistake. They assume that their physical starting line is still decades in the past. Which brings me to mistake number 3. And honestly, this is the whole problem. We still think that we are in our late 20s and early 30s. We are trapped in that mental time capsule. So somehow that image keeps lingering in our head. It's convincing us that, it's basically convincing us with a brutal lie every day. We can still do all these things. Reality check, people. No, you can't. Well, not in the same way as you used to. I learned this the hard way recently in front of my kid. I used to breakdance back in the days, and I loved doing windmills. So one day, after I saw a kid doing a windmill in a movie, I decided to drop down and show my son. Well, let's just say I ate a lot of grass. It did not look good, it was clumsy and stiff and totally uncool, and at the end of my pathetic spin, my son looked at me and said, Dad, that's not it. So not only did my ego take a hit, but my joints felt it for like 3 days. Now, let's be clear. I'm not saying that you cannot never do amazing things after 40. We have muscle memory. So if you used to dance, lift, or fight, those movement patterns, they are still somewhere there in your nervous system. But if you haven't trained your body in like 10 plus years, you cannot wake up one day and do them all in full tilt just because your brain refuses to accept your actual current age. You will get hurt. So, how do we fix this? How do we get back in shape without destroying our joints or just give up after 2 weeks? It comes down to a simple shift in your mindset. You are not returning to your old self. You are building a new upgraded version of yourself. Start very slow. Now, if you're starting, start with a simple home routine, a beginner workout. Follow simple programs. Use free workouts on YouTube. Keep the intensity very low. Just focus on good form. Embrace the too easy phrase. Even if your brain tells you basic low impact routine is way too easy, trust the process. Your body is waking up from a long sleep and it's working much harder than you realize. It's building the foundation for a new body. Because working out at 40 plus isn't about how much pain you can endure during a training. We are not trying to be Rocky here. It's about consistency, longevity, and showing up again tomorrow without an injury. So take your time. You are basically learning how your body works again. But now you're learning it on a newer level. So now that we're going forward, let's keep that in mind. And I will see you in the next video.